Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going over some of the new AI cyber threats we are seeing in the industry right now. So I'm going to go over AI impersonation, AI security challenges, and AI's real life impacts that we are seeing in the current digital age. So I'm going to start off with AI impersonation. So currently we are seeing an uptick in malicious actors actually mimicking our trusted relationships, such as family members, staff, and people that we have a trusted relationship with. They are trying to get access to secure documents, credentials, and get our hard-earned money via bank transfers and cryptocurrency scams. More recently, actually, the CEO of Zscaler was actually the victim of one of these AI impersonation attacks. His voice was used to try and scam his staff members throughout his team. They would call his staff and say, "Hey, this is Jay, bad reception," and then they would hang up the call, but then they would follow up with a text message saying, "Hey, just couldn't talk, bad cell signal, but can you please do da-da-da? Can you please send me your credentials? Can you please wire me $500? Things like this. And this is a very good scam for the adversary because they are using a spoofed number. So it looks like it's actually coming from the person you're speaking to. Plus, you hear their voice that is recognizable to you and sounds exactly like the person. So this is something to be wary of in the current digital age. And it's really good to note that you should actually set up a safe word or some sort of extra second factor that you can confirm with the person you're talking with to know that you're actually talking to them and not an AI that was created. Because it only takes 3 seconds to actually replicate someone's voice with AI. Pretty crazy stuff. Now over to LLMs and things like ChatGPT. We're seeing a big uptick at the moment with things like AutoGPT, PentestGPT, FraudGPT, WormGPT. There's so many different variants of these things, and they all have different purposes to try and extract resources such as passwords, money from victims. Currently, AutoGPT is able to actually fully automate email sending with the AI backend. So you can send an email to someone, that person then replies, and then the AI will actually look at that email and formulate a reply automatically and reply to the person. And if you've seen how good GPT-4 is at creating content, you would know that it's pretty unlikely that the victim is going to know that they're speaking to an AI versus a human. This is really big with business email compromise attacks at the moment. So looking at scamming businesses out of their money through fraud emails and trying to convince the other person on the other end that they are a legitimate supplier or vendor and they need a payment for money. So having this fully automated is just an absolute game changer in the industry. It's definitely going to be harder to recognize these, as before they were pretty easy to spot, as they would have a mistyped letter here or some sort of banner that looked unrealistic. But now with these GPT-4 written emails that are even better than some people's original emails, it's going to be even harder to recognize the difference. And then things like PentestGPT are also changing the industry significantly, as this is a tool that allows you to automate pen testing very easily, and you don't really need to have that much knowledge to actually start doing it. So things like Hack the Box and TryHackMe are now being beaten by this AI, and you don't even need to have the skills to hack these boxes. So low to medium difficulty boxes are now being cracked by an AI by itself, which is actually crazy, as this is just in alpha. Imagine when it gets into beta and is then fully released with multiple versions and other interesting artifacts that are added to it. It's going to be actually insane what it's fully capable of when it fully gets released in its end versions. So over to what's actually powering the backend in these things. So it's powered by OpenAI's API, and the GPT-4 model is mostly used, but you can use 3.5 Turbo. But again, this comes into our ethical dilemma here. Should OpenAI be monitoring this and conducting more thorough research into what their tool, to what their API is actually being used for? I think yes, because at the end of the day, they are supplying the backend which these open source tools that are just written in Python are using to actually function. But then again, there are open source models that exist that are censorship free. So does it really make a difference when these malicious actors could just go use an open source LLM like Llama to do basically the exact same thing? It really is difficult to tell what the best thing to do right now in this current situation is, but I think just be on the lookout and make sure that you are really paying attention to this space, as it's just going to continue to grow as the years go on. Now, more recently, an AI attack was actually used to impact the real world. Now, of course, this was the AI generated image of the Pentagon explosion. Now, not only did this cause public panic over social media, but it actually caused an impact to the S&P 500, causing it to dip only an hour later after this news spread like wildfire over social media. Now, if this can have this sort of effect with just this AI generated imagery, what's going to happen when we see impersonation videos of CEOs and world leaders? This is going to cause massive disruptions to business operations and countries worldwide. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this video and how AI is actually drastically changing the way we live our lives, and from a cybersecurity perspective, how this is going to impact us moving forward in the world. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you next time.